Hello guys, thanks for coming back again. If you're a subscriber of this channel and if you are new here, just click on the subscribe button and ensure you turn on the notification bell. That will let you know when we drop our videos. Thank you. So I want to discuss the biology specimen for the year 2024 and for the exam Waec. Okay, so the first specimen is the gill of a fish. The gill of a fish. So what is the property of a gill of a fish? How does it look like, and what are the functions or whatever things we need to talk about it. So the gill of a fish is it's it's a part of the fish that is used for exchange of gases. So it provides large surface area for gaseous exchange in fish. That is how the way human being breathe out carbon dioxide are taking oxygen through the nostrils. Then the gill serve this function in fishes. Though not only in fishes, but since this is the gill of a fish, we restrict our talk to fishes alone. So we have the part of it that is called the gill rackers. So that helps to trap food and solid particles to prevent them from damaging the delicate organ. Uh, then or the delicate gill filaments. So there we have, you see the label shows the gill racker where that helps to stop solid particles. Then we have the gill bar. So it's for attachment of gill filament and gill racker. So that's the gill bar. So you can also call it the gill arc. So that is it. Then what are the features when you see it physically? It's always wet. If it is fresh, then it is a thin wall. It is a thin wall or thin membrane for diffusion to take place. It has thin wall rather for diffusion to take place. It is richly supplied with blood vessel in fishes. I think this part of the fish is always removed since people don't really consume it. Then it had large surface area to increase rate of diffusion. I think I mentioned that. So then, what are the functions? Okay, yeah, the functions is what I've just described with uh, the properties or the look. Then I said it's for gaseous exchange or respiration. Um, so that is okay. Then what other property is that the color is always red or both pink and red anyway. Then it is moist. Okay, that's all. So with the thin layer, with the wet surface and the color, those are the and the large surface area, those are the property of the gill of a fish. So let's go to the next specimen. The next specimen is the liver of a fowl. The liver of a fowl attached with gallbladder. So what are we meant to talk about in the description? It is reddish in color or dark red in color, then soft but firm to touch. It is soft, but you can still touch it and hold it. So then it's large in size, and there is something on it, the part of it that is kind of looking like water in a sack, in a light sack. So that is the gallbladder. So what is the description of the gallbladder? It is greenish or greenish yellow in color with a oblong or elongated bag structure. That is the bag which the liquid called bilirubin contains. So it is also very soft. So then what is the function of the liver? The liver helps in production of bile and breaking down of harmful substances or whatever in the body of the chicken. So and okay, if you test the liquid in the bladder, it will turn red litmus paper blue, and the pH is above 7. So it means it's basic in nature. The substance is manufactured by the liver. I've said that. So what is the function of that by so it is the one that neutralizes the acid found in the food in the stomach. Then it emulsifies fat and oils to tiny droplets of fatty acid and glycerol. That means it breaks down fat and oil into their components, fatty acid and glycerol. Then it also putrefacts or decay food in the small intestine. So the function of the liver generally is stored food as glycogen. Then it stores vitamins A, D, B, and vitamin B1. Then it also aid deamination of protein in the body. Then it also helps in detoxification, breaking down of harmful substances in the body. Then it manufactures by this is the function of a liver in general. Then almost it performs the same function it has in every organism is what it has in the kitchen. It produces heat for the body to maintain constant temperature. It aids formation of red blood cell in embryo. Then it helps to destroy one out red blood cell too. So what are the diseases of the liver? Jaundice, we have cancer of the liver, we have gallstone, we have hepatitis, and which is either hepatitis A or B, and so on. So that is general. Then I've mentioned the function of bile. I said it neutralizes acid and it prevents decay of food. Then the inorganic salts in the natural, okay, it neutralizes acid in food particles. So that is that on the liver of the chicken. So the specimen C is the lungs of a chicken or fowl. Let's say fowl. So the lungs is soft and it is used for gaseous exchange. Everyone knows that is the surface for gaseous exchange in chicken. So the lungs is soft, red, and rich with blood vessels for passage of blood and for carriage of gaseous gaseous nutrients to every part of the body. Then we just have to look at the differences between uh, the the lungs and the gill of a fish. So what are the differences? So gill rakers is present in the gill, but there is no gill rakers in the lungs. There is gill arc, there is no gill arc in lungs. Then the gill does not have lamella. Meanwhile, I mean the gill contains lamella, while the gill lamella is absent in the lungs. Then we have the pleural membrane absent in the gill but present in the lungs. Then we have the pleural cavity absent in the gill but present in the lungs. Then the gill is not fluffy. Meanwhile, the lungs is fluffy, but they both serve the same function. The gill in the fish serve as gaseous exchange for fish, while the lungs serve as gaseous exchange for chicken, for fowl. So talking about the next specimen, specimen D, and that is the gizzard of fowl. So what is the function of the gizzard and how does it looks like? So the gizzard is basically the stomach of the chicken and it is made up of muscular walls that contract. It has a white part in the body or silver like and the tip and edge looks red. Yes, and the chicken does not have teeth to grind their food, so their food have to be stored in the crop for a while to soften, then pass through the proventriculus into the gizzard, so where they are grinded against a natural stone present in the livers and the wall of if the I mean inside the gizzard rather. So the wall of the gizzard is made up of a tough layer with some stones that helps to grind the food. Then enzyme produce uh I mean that's for the gizzard. So the main function is for grinding of food. Then the food grinded there will now be passed into the what small intestine for absorption to take place. So that is that about the gizzard. So the next specimen is specimen E, and that is intestine of a fowl. So what is the function of the intestine? I've said it from the gizzard that the intestine helps in absorption of food nutrients that has been passed through. I mean food that has been passed through the initial state of digestion before getting to the intestine. So the digested food substance is present in the small intestine, is then absorbed, you get, for the body, and the nutrient is passed to the body of the to the whole cells in the fowl. So we all know that that is just for the absorption. So then the three parts in specimen E, which is the intestine, is the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. So that is that for the small intestine, and there are enzymes that might be present in the small intestine. So just like the cellulase, the amylase, the lipase, and the protease. So these are the enzymes that are related or that are present in the small intestine. So that is that about the small intestine. You can see that in the label of that chicken anatomy. The next specimen is specimen F, which is the rhizome of ginger. So let's just talk about the physical features and that. So it is cylindrical in shape. The reduce leaves reduced to scale. Then it has nodes and internodes. Then the root is adventitious. Then it has terminal buds. Then classification of the specimen F, the ginger rhizome, based on their life cycle. So it is a biennial crop. It is a biennial crop. So that is the information on that. Next specimen is specimen G, which is the onion bulb. So what are the characteristics? Is it has presence of swollen leaf base. Yes, then that is they say with reserved food. Then stem reduced to disc-like structure. Then presence of leaf scale, it has adventitious roots. Then terminal and auxiliary bud is present. Then it is a biennial crops, which means they grow and mature in 2 years. Then it's propagates laterally. Yeah, it's propagate laterally. So that is the information on the onion bulb. The next specimen is specimen H, and that is bryophyllum leaf. So, what is bryophyllum leaf? It's a leaf where that bears bud at the notches of margin. So at the edges you see some buds there. Then it has a succulent and fleshy nature, that which means it looks as if it contains a lot of water. Then the leaf is waxy at the surface. The leaf is green, and which means it contains chlorophyll. Then the propagation is sprouting and adventitious. It has adventitious bud at the margin of leaf. Then significance of it is the vegetative production, is story I mean significance of biofilm. The biological significance is it can photosynthesize. Characteristics of parent plants are preserved. Then it has a storage organ. It stores water, mineral salt, etc. So that is that on the biofilm. Specimen J is cassava stem, and that is cassava stem. So it's just like the stick of cassava plant, the stem. So if you plant this, if you dig a floor and insert it, then cover, you insert it partly into the soil, and then it begins to grow the cassava roots. Then the leaves is also coming up on the upper side, that is above the ground, if it is properly taken care of, so it grows. Then the cassava leaf, just like every other substance, contains the supporting tissues in plants, just like for instance the xylem and phloem for storage of food and for carriage of nutrients from the roots to the part of the plant. So mind you, the cassava itself is in the soil, is the root of the cassava stem. So that is the information about cassava stem. So the next specimen now is specimen K, which is the cassava tuber. So specimen K, which is the cassava tuber, has is a biennial plant, biennial crop, which means it grows and manufactures in 2 years. So then it is the cassava belong to the phylum Trachyphyta, so which is the angiospermophytes, then the spermatophyte, or you call them the spermatophytes. Then, which other information is that they have no scales in leaf, no node and internode. They have no buds, no adventitious roots, and they have terminal and lateral roots. So that's the information about them, and they are used for manufacturing of cassava flakes, which we call gari. Yeah. So it is also a source in industry for starch. So it is used in production of starch, which is later converted into alcohol. So the end product of the breaking down process that takes place with the starch give rise to alcohol. Biologically, if it's taking place in the absence of oxygen, we call that fermentation. So that is that on cassava. The next specimen is the thoracic vertebra. So, what are the characteristics? It has a long, prominent neural spine which projects upward and backward, present of pair of short transverse process. Then, large cylindrical centrum is present too. Then, presence of large neural canal and neural arc. Then, presence of um, demifacet and articular surface for attachment of ribs. So what is the function of the thoracic vertebra? It's to support the back rib, then articulation with the rib allow them to also provide a protective cage around delicate organs in the thorax, which is say, organs like the heart or lungs. Then they protect the spinal cord also. Then they are the bones of the skeletal system. They are present in human. So that is that about it. You can make use of our previous video, which is biology in the year 2022. I think it contains this. You will see more details about it. Next specimen is specimen M, which is the humerus. The humerus is part of the skeletal system in human. Then uh, it is uh, it is a form of attachment surface for bicep and tricep muscles. Then it forms the ball and socket joint at the shoulder side. So then it has the ball joint, so which is attached to the socket on the shoulder side. Then it forms in joint at the elbow. Then it allows free movement of the arm. So that is the property of it. Is the bone of the arm. So that is the humerus. That's the little information I have about it. We have the specimen N, which is the mango seed, the dry one. So let's talk about the classification. It belongs to the kingdom plant. Then division is Magnoliophyta. Then we have the Magnoliopsida, which is the class. Then we have the other Sapindales. Then we have the family Anacardius. Then we have the genus Magnifera, the species Indica. So which means the biological name is Magnifera indica. Then the classification of specimen N goes that is a perennial crops. Is a perennial crop, which means it manufactures. It grows beyond 2 years, so it will always be there. It's a tree. So then the placentation is exile. So the placentation of the specimen N is in fruit and is exile. So that is that about the mango. It belongs to the class of fruits which are called the drupe, drupe, the drupe. So that is the information about it. So the next specimen is the bone of the femur. So we all know what the femur seems to be. That is the bone of the leg between the nail and the ankle. So the diagram shows the bone. Then the observable feature is that the structure is a long shaft with a round head at one end. Then the head has a short neck. There is presence of great truncator and lesser truncator. Then there is presence of patellar groove and condyle. Then the function of the limb is supports the upper leg or tight. It is used for formation of red blood cell. It forms ball and socket joints with pelvic girdle. The patellar groove also articulates with the patella or the nail cap. Then it provides articulation surface for the tibia and fibula. Then the nutrient present in the femur is calcium. Majorly bone is made up of calcium tetrasulfate 6 or magnesium tetrasulfate 6. So it contains calcium phosphorus or calcium phosphate as the case may be. So the calcium helps in strong movement, and the phosphorus is the component of DNA and nucleic acid. So uh, what is the difference between the specimen M and P? Specimen M is the humerus and P is femur. So the difference is just that the specimen N possess head head without neck. Then the specimen P, which is the femur, possess head with short neck. Then his femur is longer than the humerus. So that is it. Then okay. What about the humerus also is attached to scapula. Meanwhile, there is no scapula at the femur side. So that's the information for that. The next specimen is the lumbar vertebra. Then, okay, let's talk about the characteristics, and that is specimen Q. It has large flattening transverse process. It has broad and flat neural spine, and there is presence of pre and post zygapophysis. Then presence of large and thick centrum, presence of anapophysis and metapophysis for attachment of abdominal muscles. Then the specimen Q, which is the lumbar vertebra, provide attachment for abdominal muscles. They bear considerable weight of the body. Yeah. Then they support the pregnancy in female, protect the spinal cord also. They also protect the spinal cord. Then we have some of the part. The neural spine is for attachment of muscle. Then the transverse process is for muscle attachment also. Then the neural arc is for muscle attachment and protection of spinal cord. Then the centrum is for mechanical support. Then the neural canal, it helps to house the spinal cord. So that is that. Then for some organism, like let's say a region of the body, it is found in the chest region of the body. Man has 12, rabbit has about 12 to 13, then rat have 13. Then for the upper abdomen and lower abdomen, we are the okay. Sorry, the difference between that's the difference between the thorax and the lumbar. So the one I said initially that is found in the chest region is the thorax. Then the lumbar is found in the upper abdomen region. Then that is man has 5, the rabbit has 6 to 7, the rat has 6. So that is that on the lumbar vertebra. Next specimen is specimen R, which is the seed of orange, the orange seed. So we all know this is very popular. Let's look at the classification. The orange plant belongs to the kingdom plant. Then the division is Magnoliphyta. Then we have the class Magnoliopsidia. Then we have the order Sapindales. We have the family Rutaceae. Then we have the genus Citrus. The species Sinensis. So this botanical name will be Citrus sinensis. Then what type of fruit is it? Is a perennial fruit, which means it grows in form of a tree and manufacture and exist. It doesn't have a specific life cycle, so it goes like that. Then the placentation in its fruit is exile. So the class of fruit is berry, or you call it Exparidium. So that is the little information I have about it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and share the video to those who need it. Thank you.